everybody. How is everyone doing today? My ear's a little blown out. I didn't hear that. How's everyone doing today? That's much better. So today, I'm here to talk to you about gun violence. While I am not a direct victim of gun violence, I, along with many of my family members, live in an area where gun violence rates are extremely high. My grandmother lives in Roxbury, a few blocks away from Warren Street and a 10-minute walk away from Dudley. I am telling you this because I want to tell you a story. It isn't mine, it's my grandmother's. I have two uncles that I have never met. This is purely due to Boston's gun violence. My Uncle George was one of the thousands of black men in Boston who have been gunned down due to gang affiliation. On October 25th, 1995, George was at a red light when an unknown guy came up to his car and shot him in the back of his head. This happened at the corner of Quincy Street and Blue Hill Ave. On October 31st, 2010, my Uncle Christopher was shot in the back of his head outside of a nightclub in Lawrence. Both of my uncles lived in and grew up in the South End. Both of their shootings were caused by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Both of their cases still not have been solved to this day. In Boston's current climate, kids of color are scared to walk down the streets of Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan due to the amount of gun violence, not knowing if they will be at the wrong place at the wrong time or if they will be a victim of mistaken identity. I wanted to share this story because this story is a prime example of communities of color being killed. I wanted to show that I didn't even get the chance to meet two amazing family members that could have been father figures to me. Today, I know their stories were heard by the thousands of you in the crowd and by the people we are depending on to change the gun laws across the nation. People like my uncles have been crying out from communities of color for years, and this is our chance to get our voices to be heard. Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan are not the only neighborhoods experiencing high rates of gun violence, but are often the most overlooked. These three areas have high crime rates, including high gun and gang violence rates. This isn't because of the people who live in these areas, though. It is the system that are in place that make it seem like crime in these areas are normal. But I'm here to tell you, the crime in these areas should not be normalized. Gunshots often heard in these areas should not be normalized. The systems of oppression towards people of color in these areas should not be normalized. Being a person of color in these areas may make you an automatic possible victim of gun violence in the future, and that should not be normalized. Today, we are not only fighting for the students across the nation to be safe, but we are also fighting for Boston to be safe. We are fighting for Boston schools, students of color, and gun violence victims. We are fighting for change in the gun laws. We will keep fighting until the change is made. Thank you.